All right, Anthropic has finally released the latest version of their Claude language model series, Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Claude has always been my favorite AI chatbot for creative content, so helping me generate content for social media, for blog posts and such, as well as for coding. I typically use ChatGPT for other stuff like information, but I found that Claude has a sort of a unique personality to it that makes the content it generates a bit more interesting and less dry than what ChatGPT gives me. So I'm really excited for the brand new model they have. And in line with some of the other big AI companies like OpenAI and XAI, Twitter's AI company, Claude has also released a sort of a reasoning model. So the language model doesn't just give you an answer, it actually thinks through the answer before it tells it to you. And that improves responses dramatically, especially in areas which require some complex thought processes or solving complex questions in, say, math, logic, and coding. So Claude 3.7 is in line with Grok 3 and OpenAI's O1 and O3 models. So let's test it out today and let's see how it does. All right, first question I want to ask is how many R's in Daryl Strawberry? And here you got to go and select extended. And that basically means the thinking version of Claude 3.7. So you can actually see when you ask it a question, it says you're thinking, and you can see how it's thinking. So it has the full thought process here. Let me check the number of letters. 4 R's in the name Daryl Strawberry. Oh, so it gets it wrong, and then it double checks it, and it says, wait, I think I made a mistake. Let me try one more time, and it gets it right. So there are 5 R's. So that's really cool. So it gave me an answer initially, got it wrong, and typically, like language models in the past have often got this wrong, which is why this is a very common question to ask them. Most AI models do get this wrong, but then when you add the reasoning to it, it actually goes back, checks its work, double counts, and then gets it right. And then it created a little React component here for me to do to play with as well. So click it, and then it counts all 5 R's. So that's really cool. So a little bit of reasoning as well as some of the coding capabilities here in one shot with Claude. That's amazing. Let's try some other examples. So the next one I want to do is a little creative writing task. This requires some reasoning because I'm asking it to create a story where the first letter of each word in the story spells out the title of the story. So it requires a bit of like thinking of going back and forth between the title and the story to make sure it all matches up. Let's see how Claude does it. I've tried this with OpenAI's O3 model and it gets it right, and Grok 3 as well. Grok 3 doesn't quite get it right. It makes a small mistake. But let's see how Claude is going through with this. So it's first generated a bunch of potential titles, selected the title, and then it's got like words that start with each letter of that title, and now it's trying to create a story around that. Okay, so it got it right, and it thought it was actually too short for a proper story, and it picked signal, which is slightly shorter than contact. Now it's going first contact, and now it's finally gone with alien encounter. So it did go back and forth a bit. It went through a few options, then it started to mix words together, and now you've got the full thing. Alien encounter. Astronauts located intelligent entities near Earth. So that's all the way up to here. Numerous communications in sea occurred until night. Terrified explorers retreated. Very cool. So it's actually really like short little story about astronauts finding aliens and coming back. And it does it really well. So one shot, I just gave it a very broad sort of question, and it came back with a really good answer. Okay, so the third test here is a coding challenge. I'm asking you to create a 3-dimensional representation of our solar system. And again, using the reasoning model here to have it think about the task. Very, very open-ended, broad prompt. Let's see if it can sort of just like figure out what needs to be done here and do it on its own. It's using 3GS to render the 3D, the sun at the center, 8 planets, and then it's importing various libraries, setting up the basic scene, implement interactive controls for navigation, adding animation. So I want to see here whether it, because I'm asking for something 3D, whether it can automatically understand that I may want to zoom in and out, or I may want to like tilt it and rotate it as well. Oh, looks like it has come up with an error because it is using 3JS, which it does not support in the artifact. So this is interesting because I've asked this for previous versions of Claude, and it usually gets it wrong because it insists on using 3JS, which does not actually run in this artifact. So I wonder, I was assuming they'd fixed it, but they have not. So it is probably going to fail here. Well, I was rewriting it, trying some other stuff. Oh, it kind of got something there. Oh, wait. Okay. It did not fail. It fixed it. So that's cool. It's fixed it. I can zoom in and out here. Click to drag and rotate the view, and I can drag and rotate to like get like a top-down view or a side view. And as you can see, the planets are rotating around, and there's Earth there with our little moon surrounding it. There's Saturn, Jupiter with the rings, or the other way around, Jupiter and Saturn with the rings. But that's really cool. I could probably ask you to do a lot more with this by like having it have little informational pop-ups and so on, and maybe even making it a little more, I guess it is not to size here, to scale, but it would be hard to do that to scale in sort of a small window like this. But it has done pretty well. It's got this all of this code in one shot, or well, two shots really, after it used a library to render. But I assume that the initial code it created with Three.js would have worked if I used that code on a sort of a different coding environment and run it there. It's just that the Claude in artifacts does not support that library. But yeah, Claude 3.7 is really impressive. I haven't really like tried it for very complicated stuff that they say it's really good at, much better at math and complex coding. And so I'm going to try using it for some more complex coding exercises and projects. But just at first glance, seems to get things right off the bat, does pretty well on some of the logic and reasoning exercises. And yeah, excited to play around with it and try a lot more. If you've tried it, let me know what you think of it as well.